Imagine waking up one morning to discover your entire life, your decade-long marriage, your family, was about to be dissected in the most public way possible, and the price tag, a staggering $325 million. But that wasn't even the most shocking part. Buried deep within the legal documents, a single phrase sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond: the cocaine clause. This isn't just another celebrity divorce story. This is the explosive, jaw-dropping saga of Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise. A union built on global fame, shadowed by intense secrecy, and ultimately torn apart by forces far more complex than mere irreconcilable differences. Buckle up, because we're diving deep into the untold story behind Hollywood's most expensive and most bizarre divorce settlement. It all began like a Hollywood fairy tale, the kind that makes headlines and captures the world's imagination. Tom Cruise, already a global superstar, the embodiment of action hero charm and intensity. Nicole Kidman, a rising Australian talent, statuesque, talented, and radiating a quiet strength. They met on the set of the 1990 film Days of Thunder, a high-octane racing drama where sparks flew both on and off the screen. Cruise was instantly smitten, famously declaring Kidman was the one almost immediately. Their connection was undeniable. A whirlwind romance that culminated in a private Christmas Eve ceremony in Telluride, Colorado. Just a year later, they seemed perfect, golden, glamorous, and deeply in love. They adopted 2 children, Isabella and Connor, and presented an image of unwavering unity, navigating the treacherous waters of superstardom together. They co-starred again in Far and Away and the Stanley Kubrick masterpiece Eyes Wide Shut, a film shrouded in its own controversies and intense secrecy, mirroring the growing enigma surrounding their private life. But beneath the dazzling surface of red carpets and premieres, powerful currents were pulling them apart. The most significant, and most whispered about, was the influence of the Church of Scientology. Cruise wasn't just a member. He was arguably its most prominent and powerful advocate, deeply embedded in its upper echelons. Kidman, raised Catholic, reportedly participated but never embraced it with the same This wasn't just a difference in Sunday activities. Scientology permeated Cruise's life. His decisions, his relationships. Rumors swirled, persistently and disturbingly, about the church's role in their marriage. Whispers suggested Kidman was labeled a suppressive person, Scientology's term for someone antagonistic to the church, effectively creating a rift between her and her husband within the belief system he held paramount. More alarmingly, reports emerged, later detailed in various investigations and books, alleging that the church actively worked to undermine Kidman's relationship with her children after the split, portraying her as an SP to them. This wasn't just marital discord. It was a battle for hearts and minds, played out in the most intimate and devastating way imaginable. Then came the bombshell that stunned the world. In February 2001, after nearly 10 years of marriage, Cruise filed for divorce. The reason cited? The ever-convenient, yet deeply painful, irreconcilable differences. But the timing and the speed were what truly raised eyebrows. Kidman later revealed she was completely blindsided, finding out about the divorce filing through the media. She was pregnant at the time with Cruise's child, a fact that adds a layer of profound tragedy to the suddenness of the split. She tragically suffered a miscarriage shortly after the announcement. The image of the perfect couple shattered instantly, replaced by a media frenzy the likes of which Hollywood had rarely seen. The world watched, transfixed, and bewildered, as one of its most iconic partnerships imploded overnight. What followed was a legal battle that would become the stuff of legend, not just for its staggering financial scale, but for the deeply personal and potentially damaging secrets it threatened to expose. This is where the infamous cocaine clause enters the story, a detail so sensational it almost defies belief. As negotiations for the divorce settlement dragged on amidst intense media scrutiny, reports began to surface about a highly unusual and highly specific provision being demanded. According to multiple sources close to the negotiations at the time, including detailed accounts in reputable publications like the New York Times and Vanity Fair, Cruise's legal team insisted on inserting a clause into the final agreement. This clause wasn't about money, or property, or even custody directly. It was about behavior. Specifically, it reportedly stipulated that if either Cruise or Kidman were ever publicly linked to illegal drug use, particularly cocaine, the offending party would be financially penalized to the tune of millions of dollars, potentially forfeiting a significant portion of their settlement. Think about that for a moment. In the midst of a $325 million divorce, a clause specifically naming cocaine. Why? What prompted such a bizarre and targeted demand? The speculation ran rampant. Was it a preemptive strike? A way to silence potential rumors or damaging information that might emerge during the messy process? Was it born out of genuine concern, or something more calculated? Some insiders whispered that it was a direct response to specific fears or information Cruise's camp possessed, though nothing was ever substantiated. Others saw it as a power play, a way to exert control even as the marriage dissolved, a nuclear deterrent against any future scandal that could tarnish his meticulously crafted image. For Kidman, reportedly blindsided by the demand, it must have felt like an insult, an implication hanging over her head. Yet, faced with the immense pressure of the legal battle, the custody negotiations for her children, and the sheer scale of the financial settlement, she ultimately agreed. The clause, as bizarre and unprecedented as it was, became part of the legal record, a silent, ticking time bomb embedded within the divorce papers. The financial settlement itself was groundbreaking. At the time, $325 million was an astronomical figure, instantly making Kidman one of the wealthiest women in entertainment. It wasn't just cash. It included properties, investments, and likely ongoing financial arrangements. This sum wasn't just about splitting assets. It was a reflection of Kidman's contribution to the marriage, her sacrifice of her own burgeoning career trajectory during their union, and the immense value placed on silence and discretion. The speed with which the final agreement was reached, despite the initial shock and the reportedly contentious negotiations, spoke volumes. Both sides, it seemed, had powerful reasons to avoid a protracted, public court battle where secrets potentially involving Scientology, personal conduct, and the reasons for the sudden split could be laid bare for the world to see. The cocaine clause, while shocking, might have been just one piece of a much larger, more complex puzzle designed to ensure absolute confidentiality and control the narrative forever. In the years that followed, both Cruise and Kidman moved forward, rebuilding their lives and careers in very different ways. Kidman, freed from the constraints of the marriage and the intense Scientology orbit, experienced a career renaissance of staggering proportions. She took on challenging diverse roles, earning critical acclaim and numerous awards, including that long-awaited Academy Award for The Hours. She found love again with country music star Keith Urban, building a new family and speaking more openly, though still carefully, about the pain of her past divorce and the complex relationship with her older children. Cruise doubled down on his action star status and his deep involvement with Scientology, becoming an even more polarizing figure. The cocaine clause faded from immediate headlines, becoming a curious footnote, a bizarre Hollywood legend whispered about in legal circles and celebrity gossip columns, but its legacy lingers. Why does this clause, buried in a decades-old divorce settlement, still fascinate us? Because it represents the extreme lengths to which the rich, famous, and powerful will go to protect their image, their secrets, and their carefully constructed realities. It shines a harsh light on the Faustian bargains often made in the upper echelons of fame, where privacy comes at a multi-million-dollar price and silence is enforced through legally binding threats. It underscores the unique pressures faced by women like Kidman, navigating immense personal loss while under the global microscope, and it leaves us with lingering, unsettling questions. What exactly were they so afraid of? What secrets were worth $325 million and a clause about cocaine? Was it merely a bizarre precaution, or does it point to something darker, more complex, lurking beneath the surface of one of Hollywood's most famous marriages? The story of Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise's divorce is more than just a tale of two stars parting ways. Disclaimer: the content in this video is based on publicly available information, media sources, and opinions. It is created for entertainment and educational purposes only. We do not claim or guarantee that every detail is 100% accurate.